Greetings, family.
Greetings.
Thank y'all for being here. Take a brother to breakfast.
All right.
Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah.
Need to see more brothers out. Y'all forgot to bring the brothers. All right. As you may or may not know, we are an African people. And we cannot do anything of significance without paying honor and homage to our ancestors. And we do that by pouring libations. And for those of you that are not familiar with libations, it's honoring our ancestors with the pouring of water. And at the end of each pour, we say, Ashe. Ashe is a Yoruba word that means, and so it is. So it basically affirms what we're saying, and so it is. It's equivalent to what Christians would say when they say, Amen. Ashe. So after each pour, we will say, Ashe. So at this time, I'm going to ask if you're able to please stand for the pouring of libations. We pour libations to that first ancestor, to that God, goddess idea in the universe, to that hidden one, who goes by many names but manifests in all things as all things. So to that first ancestor, we pour libation and we say, Ashe.
Ashe.
We pour libation to those ancestors that created civilization, that was the genesis of humanity, to the first human being. The genesis of humanity and civilization, to those mighty ancestors, we pour libation and we say, Ashe. We pour libation to those ancestors who knew that there was a need of governance. So they created the first civilization along the Nile Valley, in Kemet, in Egypt, in Kush, Ethiopia, Songhai, Mali. To those mighty ancestors, we pour libation and we say Ashe. And we pour libation to those ancestors who were the first astronomers, philosophers, scholars, authors. To those mighty ancestors, those creators, to those mighty ancestors, we pour libation and we say Ashe. And we pour libation to those ancestors who one day took a long and mighty walk, and they peopled the planet. They met themselves coming and going. To those mighty ancestors, those explorers that came before Columbus, that came before Magellan, those mighty ancestors, those explorers that they don't teach you about in history books, to those mighty ancestors, we pour libation and we say Ashe.
Ashe.
And we pour libation to those ancestors who one day found themselves captured, shackled, held captive, and shipped throughout the diasporas. To those mighty ancestors, to those ancestors who jumped ship rather than lose their freedom. And the bones of those brave souls still line the ocean floor. So to those mighty ancestors, we pour libation and we say Ashe. And we pour libation to those ancestors who, once they reached these shores, they resisted. They resisted. They put glass in massive bricks to those mighty ancestors, like Nat Turner, Ashe.
Ashe.
Like Harriet Tubman, Ashe.
Ashe.
Like Frederick Douglass, Ashe.
Ashe.
Like Toussaint the Overture, Ashe.
Ashe.
Jacques Dessalines, Ashe.
Ashe.
Dutty Bootman, Ashe. Sojourner Truth, Ashe. To those mighty ancestors. And we pour libation to those ancestors who began to piece themselves back together. They heard the piece of their language, piece of a song, the words from the song, the beat of the drum, and they became the new Africans, the new Jamila. So to those mighty ancestors, we pour libation and we say Ashe.
Ashe.
And we pour libation to you, to the truth seekers, to those that will continue to carry on the legacy of our great people, to those that will continue to fight for the liberation of our people. To you all that are here today, with the sound of my voice, we pour libation and say, Ashe. And we pour libation to our children, the heirs to our legacy, to those African babies that are coming up that will carry the torch into eternity. To our beautiful African babies, we pour libation and we say Ashe. And to their children, 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 Ashe. Oh, thank you.
Again, give the rest of our hand. We got to enter need our attention and support and encouragement for sure. So the food bank. Cool. Okay. We know y'all hungry. So 1 minute.
We're gonna do it in a certain order. So first to be served is the elders, followed by our men guests, followed by our speakers, and the rest of us.
Okay, great. So you said elders. And then what?
Men guests, our brothers.
Okay, so elders,
Speakers.
brothers, and speakers. Okay, great. All right. Before we get into that, just a little bit of background about Black Youth Wellness. Okay, so how many of you guys know about American Black A lot of us in here are family, but for those who don't know, Black Women Wellness has been around for 25 years, working for the benefit of Black women and girls, with the mission of really focusing on the health and well-being, promoting the health and well-being of Black women and girls. And we do that, and this staff on this side do that through a reproductive justice lens. We do that through environmental justice lens. And we do that through civic engagement and wellness, right? So in our wellness program, we offer food distribution twice a month. We do cooking classes online, in person. We do educational seminars about the environmental impacts on reproductive health, the beauty products that we all use, the hair care products we all use, and how they affect our health, reproductively and all over. We have had campaigns around with the city to stop oil drilling. We're collaborating with local organizations to stop oil drilling in LA. So again, all the oil wells in Eaglewood taking out the oil wells off of Adams, taking out the oil wells in Wilmington, taking out those programs. But then we have our strong civic engagement team that goes out. I don't know if you guys have had people knock on your door with their Starboy shirts asking you about, do you know about Black Women's Wellness? Do you know about reproductive justice? Do you know about the election? All these things our team does. And then our reproductive justice team has programs called Get Smart Free, Get Sexy, when we talk about STDs, HIV, and all that work, right? And so there's so much more. And I get to talk about, I mean, there's a lot that we do, right? And so let's give our staff a hand. And then we have our fiscal team to make sure everybody gets paid. And then after that, we put this together, and release our.
That's me.
So yeah, so we do a lot to really engage the community, really around healing, right? We do that in a way that helps everyone understand that it's not just about him, the community, and the city, and we're moving one other an example of that we've done for them. We have a big campaign around Johnson & Johnson. You guys know the story about Johnson & Johnson, where the talcum powder was caused by cancer for the last 30+ years. And there's been this campaign to stop selling it, but they have an excess of product that they say from the sale. Right? So we work with a number of organizations, 100+ organizations, to get that stopped throughout the world. Right? So in the States, they're not selling, they're still putting it out. They're not making it, they're still putting it out to sell. Right? So we got that, we're gonna get that stopped, and stop selling it around the world. So what I just heard last week is that, so in the Congo, they stopped selling it, and they're not seeing it anymore. So these are some of the things that we're doing and working on. This is a constant work, constant movement. So we're proud to be able to do this work, and we're happy that you guys are here to support us. And we look forward to seeing more and more of our sisters at events. So we're going to open it up for folks to go get some food, and we'll have all the elders come up. So if you identify yourself as an elder, you can go ahead and do that. We're going to get the house. Look, elders are a good thing. No, elders are a good thing. You know? We'll get there. Man, he got up.
I don't wait.
Okay, well, today I will share a few things with you about women.
I guess this is the intermission.
So I will and mute you. And hello, everyone. This is our Bring a Brother to Breakfast that is being held at the Crenshaw Methodist United Church in Los Angeles in the Leimert Park area. And right now they're doing the breakfast part of Bring a Brother to Breakfast. So I didn't want you all to have to sit and watch while they go eat, but wanted to take this opportunity and this time to share with you a little more information about Black Women for Wellness. I'm not sure if you were able to hear Brother Akil giving his information about Black Women for Wellness. So in a moment, I will share with you our Black Women for Wellness website and the program for the day. It has been edited a little bit, and so this is the version that I happen to have access to. And so I do want to share it with you all. The topic today at Bring a Brother to Breakfast is minding our men's mental health. And we didn't want to say mental health because we want us to work toward wellness, and we don't want it to be a stigma that people are working with their mental right now. Our world has a lot going on, and each one of us has a place in this world, and we need to be good about ourselves and about what we're doing. And it's important to realize that it is not easy navigating this world and the things in it. So let me take you to our Black Women for Wellness page and get back over here so I can share my screen. All right, so this is the version of the flyer that I do have. And as you see, not the flyer, the program, Bring a Brother to Breakfast, Minding Our Mental Wellness, a little bit of who we are. And this is a picture of our outstanding canvassers who go out into the community, sharing each day. Maybe I should have put this in like a presentation mode. I will learn how to do that at some point. Will this do it? Actually, no, it doesn't. My apologies. Let me go back to the other view and make it a little bigger for you all to see. And still keep going through. So what we do have our Sisters at 8. We have our Sisters in Control of Reproductive Justice. You are attending Sisters at 8 right now. Sisters in Control of Reproductive Justice does a lot of our maternal infant health, working with other providers. Again, we are not we do not do a lot of services. We are more in the line of education and advocacy, giving people knowledge and resources. And so this group is making sure there's a place at the different tables in the United States, in California, speaking on behalf of Black women and Black girls and the needs that we have. We also have our Sisters in Motion program, which is out there doing a lot of work on the ground in terms of having wellness sessions, our very popular Kitchen Divas program. Yeah, this is not a good version to show you all, but I do want to show that there are some different resources available that are in the program that the participants who are in person today are receiving. And this may be my favorite part of the program. We made a space for people to journal. And it says, today I'm choosing to show up. And you would take a few moments to answer that particular prompt. And showing up is a newer, fancier term, but just how you're being present, how you are living life today, how you are doing what you do, how you manage. And it's about the choice of how you're going to do it. Are you going to do it in a positive way? Are you going to dwell on the negative? Both you're entitled to, but both are good to recognize on paper and get that out. We also have a series of wellness tips: drinking water, getting a good amount of sleep, eating fruits and vegetables, exercising, doing yoga. And then we have a list of different resources and books and literature. So I'll keep going here. There's a poem about Phenomenal Brother. And we are thanking all those who were able to make it out for this first Bring a Brother to Breakfast session in person since the pandemic. Another thing that I wanted to share with you while we wait for them to eat some delicious food brought to us by one of our caterers in the community is our Black Women for Wellness website. So I am sharing our website here. If I can move all this other things out of our way. And I hope many of you had the opportunity to vote while that was on the 7th of June and getting ready for the elections in November. This is a banner on our Black Women for Wellness page, and we are highlighting many of the different things that are prominent in our community right now, including being a member of Black Women for Wellness. So on our website, you will find an About Us area. So you have the opportunity to learn about our goals and objectives, mission and values, our staff, our board of directors, and some of our founders. We do have an events page, and oh my goodness, can I tell you all, you better get yourselves ready, tell your friends, people who are working in the healthcare industry, who are minding the bodies of Black women, those who are interested. Our Reproductive Justice Conference is an annual conference that we have, and this year it will be held in August. It will be August 9th and 10th, 9th, 10th, and 11th. The main part of the conference is on August 11th. So we encourage you to visit our website and click on the link so that you can register and be a part of this conference. We are still looking for presenters and people who want to donate to help make this happen, because we'd like to give out gifts and information and resources to people. Some of the topics that I think are already in the works, definitely some grown and sexy conversation, meaning talking about what kinds of things we need to know as growing up over 40, what kinds of things are affecting our bodies. I know my body has changed, but we're not just focused on the older crowd, because we are a multi-generational organization. So we do have our Get Smart Before You Get Sexy program, which is focused on youth, Black women and girls who are younger. So we will have a youth panel, a youth track as part of this Reproductive Justice Conference. We will also have a men's track similar to our time today. We do care about the Black men in our community and what they bring and how we share value together and can support each other. So those are just a few of the various tracks that will be a part of our Reproductive Justice Conference. Here are a few of our other events that you may have missed for the month of June. We do a food distribution monthly, sometimes twice monthly. Right now, the session is closed because we have enough food for the people who are signed up right now. We'd love to expand this program because it has made a tremendous impact, because we do recognize the food insecurity in our community. And I know you have noticed the price of food going up. So we want to still be able to have food. Our bag is special because it has fresh produce in it for you, for us. Go ahead and turn this and tell you more. You also missed a wonderful Body Matters and Movement. They did yoga on the beach. It was beautiful. It was, you know, we're in that June gloom. So it was overcast, but that made it perfect conditions for getting out there and stretching out on the beach. So we look forward to doing that again. And what you also missed, Kitchen Divas with celebrity chef Naisha. Oh my goodness. She made a carrot and ginger soup that was amazing, all while in the midst of being at another event that was for the community. And so if you missed that, you can check out our YouTube channel or our website on our media page. And we have past events there that have been recorded. I hope this is not too late. Yes, it's too late. We were trying to get people to know that they're giving free money to youth. So the cutoff period was June 6th, but it never hurts to check and see if maybe they extended it. So it was an opportunity to have $1,000 a month for 3 years to ages 18 to 24. So if you did happen to miss that, do check out DPSS so that you can find out other events that are happening and programs that are happening. And here we are at our Sisters at 8, which is our monthly community forum. And this particular one is our special Bring a Brother to Breakfast session. And that's what you are participating in today. And here is all the information for that. All right, so now what you can look forward to on Friday, June 17th at 7 p.m. This one will not be in person yet. It will be over Zoom. You can attend Grown and Sexy. Told you a little bit about that program as part of the Reproductive Justice Conference, but this will be a special session focused on sex and mental health for people over 40. And so we encourage all to register for this event. Our program coordinator for this loves to give out gifts and has lots of goodies. So do come for the information and the education, but the gifts are a great incentive too. Then we have Juneteenth. If you're not sure what Juneteenth is, go ahead and check that out. But there'll be so many programs going on during the month of June and on that weekend. But you can check us out at Lamert Park. We'll also be getting a special award through Shared Harvest. And I can't tell you the countless other activities that are going on for Juneteenth. So check that out that weekend. And I do encourage everyone to be safe, be hydrated, be ready for the weekend. Okay. So here are some more of the events happening in June from our Wellness Wednesday session. Shop with the Chef. Oh yeah. And Body Matters in Movement, virtual dancing. Okay. And we have partnered with Planned Parenthood of Los Angeles. And this will be part 2 of a 2-part series in which they've been having a conversation about parenthood, soul friends, pleasure principle. So you can log on to check that out also. And so those are some of the events from our Black Women for Wellness site. I'm sure they are still eating good things. So I'm going to show you how we have a various program information, environmental justice. Today is Friday. Our environmental justice team is out getting recognition and working with the federal government today to change what we are experiencing and how different toxins affect our bodies, from our hair care to nails and what we put on our face and in our body, our water, our oil, the soil. So this team is doing a lot of work, and on Sunday they will be having Curls in Conversation. So the hair topics with the youth, the Divas Dance Group. So do check out this program and all that they are doing. Voting Rules Everything Around Me is our team, our on the ground team that are out there. And I do want to give them a round of applause right now. Our civic engagement group, which is also this Voting Rules Everything Around Me group. We have amazing canvassers and phone bankers and texters who might have been getting in touch with you, and you may be tired of them, but it's only in our effort to get the information to you, to let you know what's happening in our community and trying to make a difference, make an impact. So do know that we exist. We are out in the community. If we're going to be speaking on behalf of Black women and girls, then of course, we need to be in touch with what Black women and girls are saying, doing, and experiencing. So I'll move on to our diabetes prevention program. Now, I don't know if you know, but we are based in Los Angeles, but we do have a program in Stockton. And this time our Stockton base is sponsoring our diabetes prevention program. So if you are coming to us from the Bay Area, from up Northern California, and you are curious, interested on how to change your lifestyle and change your life, they have already started talking about eating better, exercising, getting those A1Cs in control for this particular program. You are not supposed to be diabetic yet, but if you are, there's still valuable information that you could get. It is a year-long commitment, and we are looking for more people to register. Again, this particular cohort is being based out of Stockton, California, from our Stockton office. I will move on to our media page just so you all can get familiar with that. And I'm doing all of this familiarization with our website, and we will have a new fresh website coming up soon. But if you did not see our wellness guide from the winter, do check that out. Right now, we have a new guide out for moms. You may be aware of the infant formula shortage. And for those of you who have not been breastfeeding, the book, the wellness guide that we have out right now, and that is usually on our front page. I'll see if it's there right now. The wellness guide we have out right now, there it is our healthy cooking mommy and baby cookbook. People, you have to get your copy. It has amazing recipes that you and your family can use, and the images are amazing, cute, and outstanding. So do take an opportunity to download this and use some of those recipes at home. Moving back to our media page of the Black Women for Wellness website, I wanted to share with you a few other publications that we have on the site, from our herbalism guide to knowing about the history of policing in the United States. Yes, that affects us tremendously. To our toxic-free beauty checklist, which is in the process of being updated, to publications from far out. I see up to 2013 here, but believe me, we've been doing this for 20 plus years, so there's lots of information that we have out there and available. There was another part of our media page that is showing some videos. So many of the sessions, just like this one, have been recorded and saved so you can refer to them. So they are right here on our page, so you can take a look. So our previous Grown and Sexy, which the topic was sex after trauma, is right here. The image made me laugh, and it's our Angela Bassett of Grown and Sexy. But all of our different programs right here available. You wanted to make some Peruvian mushroom soup, push play, you can listen to it and how it was made. Chef Carmen is our amazing chef that's been working with us. So do check out our media page for more information. We do podcasts, and those are available on Spotify and Buzzsprout and all those different places. We've done a good amount of them during our Black Maternal Health Week, but look forward to hearing more of our podcasts. People have something to say. It just like our topic for it is from our amazing director, Jan Robinson Flint and Adra. The title is I'm Just Saying, two Black women with opinions. So they're look forward to some more podcasts in the near future. Let me see. We do have some job openings right now, but I don't think they're listed on our website. So we in general are just taking information of people looking for work. We're looking for a communications person and what is our second position? That is, if you are available for doing some work in reproductive justice, we always welcome that. We do have a policy side that is separate from our community-based work as a C3. So please do check that out. Hopefully I won't run out of battery power and can continue broadcasting to you all. Do know that we do are accepting membership. It's only $65 a year to become a member. You get a gift and opportunities to learn about our programming ahead of time, ahead of other people. We also have opportunities to volunteer at Black Women for Wellness. So all right, hopefully I am back with you all. And yes, sorry about that, everyone. I won't be able to share my screen and the rest of our website with you, but I am looking to see when the program will get back started at the Crenshaw Methodist Church in Los Angeles on Don Felipe. And I was in the process of just showing you all our website and telling you all about the amazing things that Black Women for Wellness is doing and up to. And Alexis, who is one of the coordinators with Miss Antoinette Drone for our Sisters at 8 Bring a Brother to Breakfast program, is there live, and they will be joining us shortly. All right, so I'm gonna check in and see how they're doing. If I'm able to share some music with you, I will, but give us just a moment.
What it can mean for us in our health.
Program is on. Let me get you guys
Now and in the future. And so our panel moderator is going to be Daniel Mike. And so Daniel has worked with the National Alliance of Mental Illness Urban Los Angeles affiliates since 2012. We call it NAMI. Facilitating family-to-family mental health classes, training others to do the same, and offering outreach throughout California. As a mental health promoter and Speakers Bureau presenter with LA County Department of Mental Health, Daniel promotes empowerment, access to resources, and recovery. Daniel worked in LA Skid Row area for over a decade in case management and service coordination, helping individuals with severe mental health challenges secure and maintain housing and pursue recovery. He has a BA from Columbia College in Chicago, despite accolades as an indie filmmaker, drama instructor, and soon to be published author. He's most proud and privileged to work as an advocate and ally to those struggling with mental illness. So I introduce Daniel Mayer.
Thank you, Akil, for that introduction. And thank you all for accommodating me and letting me be a part of this amazing event. Anytime mental health is being discussed, I want to be a part of that, and I strive to be a part of that. Akil mentioned that I've worked in the Skid Row area. I worked with the Department of Mental Health, and I've worked with NAMI for the last decade. My connection to NAMI is quite intimate, and it's the result of my having a son who struggles with mental health issues. And at one point, my son was missing from our home. And we live in the Briarwood area of Inglewood. We live in a gated community. But my son would leave home due to his mental health issues. That initially, my wife and I was present. We didn't know what was going on with our son, who had been the model son beforehand. He was class president. He was a college student who had received scholarships to several colleges nationwide, and we were just impressed with him. He was my best friend, and he was just an ideal son. Couldn't ask for a better son. But while he was away at school, he started struggling with mental health issues, and we didn't know what was going on. Just bizarre behaviors. He wasn't living in the apartment he had. He purchased a car. He was living in his car. And we didn't know why these new behaviors were manifesting. My son, he never lied. My son Malcolm was never one to lie to my wife and I because he never had to lie. We didn't have that before. Anything he was going to do, any major decision he was going to make, he would let my wife and I know. So when we heard he was in Chicago, our hometown, we've been here since '93. When we heard he was not in his dorm, not living in his apartment, but he had purchased a car and he was manifesting behaviors and everything, we didn't know what was going on, and we brought him back here. And again, we didn't know how to approach these behaviors, this new thing, my son thought he was Jesus at one point. And we see a lot of that in people on the street struggling with mental health issues. My wife, fortunately, from her church, Bible Enrichment Fellowship, she became affiliated with NAMI, the National Alliance of Mental Illness. And from there, we took classes, 3 classes for family members. And it turned lights on, and it let us know that what our son was struggling with. And from there, we got involved with NAMI. And from there, I made it my life work. I dedicated my life to doing this work and giving back. They helped me help my son, help my wife and I help our son, and keep our son alive and not make him a statistic. We see people on the street, we see people talking to themselves, and we see people, all kinds of odd behaviors from people, and we don't know, and we just say, we can dismiss it and say, oh, he's talking to himself and he's probably drug, induced or whatever. These people have families, these people have relatives who love them, and in many cases, they don't know why they're manifesting the behavior, what they're doing, and where they are. So my approach to my work is to give back. I met Akil last week at an event at Crenshaw High School. every weekend, we're probably out as NAMI individuals and representatives, spreading the word and giving resources and connection and letting families know that there is help and there's hope. Last weekend, for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I was at the West Hollywood Pride Festival. If anyone's familiar with the West Hollywood Pride Festival, you know that it's a wild event. There's a lot of rainbows, a lot of wild behavior, a lot of naked people in body paint. And it's always, the naked people are always the naked people you least want to see naked. But that whole weekend, we had a table and we were providing information, resource information for people who are struggling with suicide and mental behaviors that they don't even know why, and depression and anxiety. And we'd see people come to our table, regardless of how they were dressed and what their behaviors were. And they would come to our table, they would take, I saw several instances of this. Someone came to our table with a group of friends and they were rainbowed out, and I'm not disparaging that, it was Pride Festival, and this is when you show your colors and you come out and you can feel comfortable, and that's what they were doing. But they would approach our table with a group, and then someone would sneak back to our table and say, I'm struggling with suicide, I need that information, and just give me that resource, and where can I get help? And that's what we were there for. Not to judge anyone or not to condemn anyone, but to provide help and resources. And that's what we do as for NAMI, that's what I do. And that's what I do with events such as this one. That's why it's an honor to be here. It's an honor to be among the panel. I'm supposed to introduce them, and I'm gonna do that now. I met all the panel members, and Coach Sneed, I approached Coach Sneed, and I was like, time-wise, your bio might be too long because we're starting late and everything. And he was gracious enough to walk me through a little amending of his bio. That's so telling to me when some people are married to their bios and they're like, look, everything I did, I'm proud of it, and I'm sure he's proud of everything he's done and accomplished, but the humility in his approach, I was inspired by that. And just speaking to every one of the panel members, I'm sensing humility, I'm sensing this emerging theme. Every one of our panel members are the people who want to give back. They're here because they strive, whatever their area of expertise is, they strive to give back. So I'm honored to be a part of this program and this panel. You have a hand? Okay. Okay, questions? Okay.
Where's your son now?
My son is in a locked facility. He's got the help. My son was back at home living with us, and he does well. And thank you for the question. For the last decade, my son has been off and on. And because of our intervention and because of my wife's commitment as well, we've been able to help him stay stable for intervals. He was at home with us, living in our gated community for almost 2 years. And anyone struggling with mental health issues who know someone who is, you know this conundrum wherein they're taking their medication and maintaining their regimen for their psych meds. And then they say, well, I'm feeling good now. I'm better. I don't need these medications. And when they say they don't need their medications, you know what happens. That cycle continues. So my son, unfortunately, he had a mental break, and so he had to go back into a locked facility, and he's getting help. And he'll be coming out soon, and we'll be starting that cycle again. And every time that happens, we're patient and we're hopeful that this will be the last time. And some kind of epiphany will occur where he'll say, you know what? I need to maintain this medication. Even when I'm feeling good, I need to take care of my mental health. And that's what this panel is about, maintaining mental health. Now, I just described some extreme circumstances wherein the people of Skid Row, and my job there was to help people get off the street and get into permanent housing, where these were homeless individuals living in the Skid Row area. I would help them get off the street and help them maintain their housing and maintain their, it's not always medication, we know that. But for many people, that's the key. And we help them stay stable and maintain their housing. And that's what my job was. And so again, I would deal in extremes, but we're not suffering from severe mental health issues, but we still must maintain our mental health. And that's what this panel is all about, helping us maintain our mental health. And COVID has been the trial by fire. There's young people committing suicide as young as 9-year-olds committing suicide. Imagine that, a 9-year-old, sorry. A 9-year-old committing suicide. When I was 9 years old, I wanted to be Bruce Lee. I wanted to be Bruce Lee, and I had not a care in the world. You know what I mean? As a 9-year-old. But imagine a 9-year-old saying, you know what? There's no hope. I want to end it. That thought never occurred to me So again, I'm just glad to be a part of this panel. I'm glad to discuss the topic, and we're going to move on. I'm getting the signal to move on and start introduce. I will indeed get that to you. And we will have at the end of the panel, we will have an opportunity for questions. So I'm going to go into the introduction of the panel members. So thank you for being patient with me with that. So my first panelist is Dr. King. So I take my glasses off to read, it's weird, I know. Dr. King has a reputation for being caring and compassionate as a physician. And he treats patients in the Baldwin Hills area. He was born and raised in Los Angeles, and he opened his first practice minutes from his childhood home, where his parents still reside. And that's a beautiful thing. Dr. King graduated with a degree in cellular molecular biology from Cal State Northridge. Dr. King obtained a dual degree in medicine and law from U of I, Urbana. And he completed an internal medicine residency at Harvard's Cambridge Hospital, where he was chief resident. So we're honored to have Dr. King with us. Thank you for being here.
Sure.
Dr. King, I'm going to introduce the rest, and then I'm going to go straight to you.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So, and then Nicholas Davis is present on the panel as well. Nicholas Davis is senior trainer with Positive Coaching Alliance, a nonprofit committed to transforming the landscape of youth sports. For over 15 years, he's been the athletic director with CIF, City and Southern Section Schools, including New Road School and Locke High School. He's the former chair of the LA Watts Summer Games and former manager with the Southern California Golf Association and Black Women for Wellness. Southern California Golf Association and Black Women for Wellness. Separate those two. He's a master trainer and life coach with the Black Women's Health Imperative in alliance with the Center for Disease Control, the CDC. Nick is the executive director and founder of Fathers Investing in Sons Talents, or FIST. Beautiful thing. Thank you for being with us. Then we have Coach Steve, to whom I referenced earlier. I alluded. Coach Steve is the owner and the CEO of Lifesaver Financial Services, based in LA and England. More than 4 decades of experience in the financial industry he has, and helping large corporations, small business owners, and individuals to manage, control, save, and keep more of their money. Amazing goal, right? Lifesaver Financial Services has 3 lines of business: life insurance solutions and services, financial coaching, and financial literacy and education. All 3 business lines work together in harmony to assist small business owners, individuals, all his clients, to find financial peace of mind and feel more comfortable about their financial future and their money. And that financial freedom that's empowerment. So that's a beautiful thing too. Coach Steve started his career as a certified public accountant with PricewaterhouseCoopers in New York. For a little over 2 decades, he served as financial entertainment executive with companies including Columbia Pictures, 20th Century Fox, Spike Lee's 40 Acre and a Mule Corporation, HBO, and Cablevision. Mr. Sneed is a graduate of Adelphi University in Long Island, New York, and a lifelong member of Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity. And he's a jazz record collector, as am I, and he's a rescue certified scuba diver. So we're glad to have each one of these panel members. Let's give them a hand, please. And with that in mind, so the purpose of the panel is to address how men can take steps and utilize tools to better maintain and better manage their mental wellness. So Dr. King, he'll start us off by briefly speaking on the topic of physical health and mental wellness. And then from there, Nick will follow and he'll talk on how nutrition and physical fitness aids in mental wellness. And then Coach King, I'm sorry, he'll pick up. Okay, so Coach Steve will pick up and he'll talk about what men can do about financial worries and concerns. So we're going to start off with Dr. Please.
All right, thank you. And Brother Daniel, thank you very much for your powerful testimony. I still have to take a minute by thinking about what you just shared with the audience. So I'm William King. I'm an internal medicine doctor that means I take care of adults, but I'm also an HIV specialist. And my office is right there on Santa Rosa. We could throw a rock right over there. And I put my office here after training at Harvard and UCLA and other places, because I wanted to make sure that we provide evidence-based medicine from those types of institutions within our name. Because when I was a kid, I grew up in this area, when you wanted to have a doctor, you went to a black doctor. And you went to a black doctor that's one of those brick buildings right there on the bridge, right? And so I wanted to make sure people that were looking for physicians, and although people are concerned about Yelp and other things, et cetera, when they're looking for physicians that they could trust is very important as well. They know where to go. The other thing, although this is Men's Health Month, I do want to address one thing, and Brother Daniel brought this up, the issue of pride as well. It's also National Pride Month. I'm an HIV specialist, and HIV has changed in terms of the medications, and they've changed in terms of prevention. But the problem is still that the number one highest numbers are within African American men and in African American women. We have the tools to prevent HIV. How many of you have heard of PrEP? Raise your hands. Fantastic. How many have talked to your friends about PrEP? We need to continue to do that because this is a medication that is 99% effective in terms of preventing HIV. But the problem is it's underutilized within our communities. It's underutilized within the African American men and the African American women as well. And considering the high numbers of HIV within the African American women, we need to get this in the hands and the knowledge in the hands of African American women. So I want to talk a little bit more about the topic. Again, I'm an internal medicine doctor, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a psychiatrist, but every day when I'm doing primary care, I'm seeing depression, I'm seeing anxiety, I'm seeing the use of substances, cigarettes, alcohol. I've seen people using cannabis, not just for pain, but also to relax, anxiety, to sleep. I've seen people take medications to go to sleep, medications that wake them up in the morning as well. So the idea of mental health is entwined with your physical health. When you look upon the history of us, since we've come over here to this country and forced over here to this country, there's been a huge slave health deficit. The work that was done at slavery, and the healthcare that was provided to us was minimal at best, right? It's basically to keep us alive and to keep us working, right? Unless we helped ourselves. Who was the father of vaccinations? Anybody? So it didn't come from Jenner, which is taught in our school books. Onesimus. Onesimus was from the western part of Africa, and he brought the issue of inoculations to Jenner. He told him how to do it. And from there, and that's how we were able to get rid of smallpox. Okay? There are lots of histories and things that we can do, I'm sure this brother will talk about the importance of nutrition and exercise that we can do to prevent the healthcare deficit. That continues to this day. Since the 1700s, there's always been a 7 to 8 year life expectancy gap between white males and white and African American males. And that continues to today, despite all the doctors that are here, despite the advances in terms of Western medicine as well. If you wanted to go to a Black doctor, could you? How many Black doctors do you think there are in the United States? What percentage would say? 10 here, 30, 2, 7. This brother's the closest one. It's like less than 1% of all physicians in the United States are African Americans. And less than that are actually African American males. That's puzzling, isn't it? And then we think about the diseases that impact us and shorten our lives are no different when we look about racial and ethnic disparities as well, right? The top ones are heart disease, stroke, right? Cancer. And some of these are highly preventable as well too. So it's not something that's intrinsic on us. Something else has happened. But I think this brother mentioned as well too. It's the institutional racism. It's the interpersonal racism that causes both internal and external stigma. So what I mean by external stigma, these are the forces that are outside that make you feel less safe. These are the barriers that were created that you don't want to go to see the doctor about. And that's one of the problems. If you have a mental health disorder, if you have diabetes, if you have high blood pressure, if you have other things, you may not want to go to a doctor because the way you were treated, the way your parents were treated, the way your friends were treated, right? Also, this internal stigma as well too is that you believe that you start to believing these external pressures about well, this is why these diseases are so prevalent in our community, instead of realizing what we can do and the power that you have as well. We also know anxiety, depression can have a direct impact on heart disease. That the constant stress that you're having, that constant stress is good. Stress makes you know that you're alive, right? But too much stress causes problems. Right? Too much stress causes high blood pressure. Too much stress causes sleep problems. If you have sleep problems, you can run into sleep apnea. If you have sleep apnea, you can have heart disease. You can have atrial fibrillation. You can have chronic heart failure. And you can die in your sleep. So it's not just a matter of when you see somebody sleeping in a chair or they fall asleep at the table, etc. Oh, that's cute. No, that's life-threatening. That person needs to get a sleep study. And more importantly, we need to look at what are the factors that are causing that as well. We also know that stress can increase cortisol levels. Cortisol is necessary for us to react to stress. But if you're constantly in the red, that's too much for the body to be able to compensate. So the issue is that mental health and physical health go together, they need to be treated together. But the problem I have as a primary care physician, a lot of the psychiatrists and the psychologists are not taking insurances. Right? That doesn't make sense to me. Right? When I try to refer my patients who have insurances, if you feel good with insurance, that's your car and you can go anywhere you want. But you are limited to what kind of networks are within that insurance company. If they're not hiring or not contracting with African American men or women, you're not going to get an African American psychologist. And other people can treat us. I'm not saying you can't go to other people because there's less than 1% of providers. But there's nothing like when somebody that knows what's happening in your neighborhood, right? And knows that that bank, a long time ago there on La Brea was moving you. Right? That knows where Boyd's Market was, that knows where Adler's was there, that knows these areas and knows some of the same people. If you see that, and you have common experiences, and that's part of the healing process. But I tell my kids, it's so daddy, you're a healer, you this and that, you do that. There's a lot of it is conversation, communication, right? Because you want to build that trust. Because with that trust, then you learn, Doc, I don't have food in the house. Then you learn this, but the reason why I'm not taking my medication is I'm trying to be contrary, so the medication makes me sick. Okay? Then you learn, well, these cigarette holes that you see in my coat, in my pocket, and the pack of cigarettes that I have in my purse, I've been telling you I don't smoke, but I really smoke. And then we can do the healing. But when they start to utilize, and there's nothing wrong, I believe in nutraceuticals. I use them myself, but I want to see the science behind it as well. Then they start to trust, and then you can start the healing process. But we can't continue to have healthcare delivered in silos. We tried an experiment where we had a psychiatrist, African American psychiatrist, in my clinic, and she took some insurances as well too. And patients, we speak for depression, anxiety every day. There's only so much I can do with regards to anxiety and depression, and other things as well too. I mean, I can do interventions for opioid abuse. I can do interventions for other things as well. But there's only so much I can do. I mean, you need to have something trained in the health facility to do this work. But by having her there in the office, we had a great adherence of people going to see the psychiatrist. And we were able to continue that during COVID, which was horrible in all kinds of situations. The best thing I think about COVID is that it shed the light upon racial disparities in health. Something we've been researching for years, something we knew about for years. But being common language was not for everybody. Being accepted in the journals was not for everybody as well too. But COVID killed a lot of our friends and family members, or impacted them and caused great disability as well too. And the biggest thing that it did cause isolation, right? People were not able to go to the support groups anymore, okay? People were not able to see their therapists anymore. People were not able to see their friends and family anymore. Anxiety, depression, substance abuse, STDs have gone through the roof. And a lot of it we haven't been able to actually put a number on because we did not have the actual individuals who went up there collecting the data because they had been transitioned to being COVID. We still don't know what's happening with COVID. Now I'm having my patients coming to me and telling me how isolated and anxious they feel. We were able to maintain relationships with them through telemedicine. But telemedicine again wasn't the end all as well too, because not everybody knows how to use a phone, right? Not everybody knows how to. Some people have smartphones, some people have Obama phones, right? So we had to develop special programs in order for them to utilize that, because we wanted to continue their health care. Wanted to let them know that even though I'm at home, you're at home, we can still have health care and you can still be able to maintain your health. So I do like the back of this program here. So it actually stole some of my thunder because this is one of the things I think that we should all do. Drink lots of water. It's very important to be hydrated. My rule of thumb is that when you're eating, when you urinate, when you pee, it should be the color of lemonade. It shouldn't have bubbles in it. If it has bubbles in it, that means it's more protein, and you could have a kidney problem. Okay? It should be the color of lemonade, it should not be the color of beer. Get a good amount of sleep every night. I mean uninterrupted sleep. I have some people I know, some people you like, right? Life gets in the way. But adults, we should be having 7 hours a night at a minimum. And it shouldn't be that you go to bed at 2 o'clock and then you wake up at 9 o'clock. The prime time for the body to heal and repair itself is between 10 and 2. Okay? So you gotta be in bed by 9 o'clock and not with your phones, not with your TV on, not with radio on, none of that. Because all that interrupts your sleep. Okay? If you're getting up to pee several times during the night, that's uninterrupted sleep. Because uninterrupted sleep causes cortisol problems, can lead to diabetes, sleep apnea, all those things I talked about. Leading you snacking at night. Then you start going to the refrigeration, what's in here? And you don't go for the lettuce at night, do you? That pie, those chips, that orange juice, et cetera, that's the leftover. That's what you go for. So that leads to the next one here. Eat more fruit, vegetables, and fruit. Again, I tell people to eat the rainbow. Okay? Your plate should be full of oranges, yellows, greens, purples, etc. All those important things are important minerals for us to survive. Exercise. Again, in the old days, they said, well, 30 minutes a day. Now, some people break that up to 5 minutes several times a day. This brother will tell a little bit more about that than I can ever do. But exercise is so important for mobility as well. We're trying to start chair yoga or to see if that happens. We're trying to see if we can do Tai Chi. Tai Chi has been great for individuals to help them in terms of mobility and stability. Because what happens if you don't have stability in your bones, because you've been seeing inside all day, your vitamin D is low, and then your calcium levels are low, your bones are not mineralized, then you slip and fall, and then what happens? Boom, hit. Boom, there you are, you are. And there you stay. So things such as exercises, isometric exercises, Tai Chi, can help in terms of building your bones. And then participate in meditation and yoga. Sounds so foreign, right? But yoga has been shown to help reduce blood pressure. Meditation has been helped to reduce stress and blood pressure as well. I tell a lot of my patients with anxiety, the first thing I'm talking about before trying medications and other things that we end up doing, because some people need medications. The neurotransmitters, the chemicals are off, and they need something to help them push them over that hump. But others, sometimes your panic attacks can be helped with deep breathing exercises. Okay? Meditation doesn't mean that you have to go up on the mountain and cross your legs and close your eyes. Meditation can be 5 minutes a day. And I tell people 5 minutes in the morning, start out with 5 minutes at night. And you clear your head as much as you can. Okay? And if you have a problem, or something else goes in your head, because it's hard to clear your head for 5 minutes straight, you just push it aside. So before I leave in part, I just want you guys all, how many familiar are familiar with deep breathing exercises? Okay, great. So let's just do that real quick. I just want to make sure everybody's doing it correctly. The first thing you want to do, I'm not going to take your wallet, you close your eyes. Close your eyes, but you want to breathe not from up here. Okay? You want to breathe through your belly button. So you're going to hold your hand on your belly button. You take a deep, and I say 4, 6, 8. It's very easy. Some people make it in different moderations. But you breathe it through your nose for a count of 4. You want your belly to go in, you hold it for a count of 6. And you breathe out. That almost like you're whistling for a count of 8. Okay? And then when you get really good, when you breathe in, you squeeze your feet, you relax and you breathe out. You squeeze your legs, relax and you go up. You squeeze your belly, relax and you go up. You squeeze your arm and your hand, relax and go up. Okay? Try to do that every day. So just do a couple of deep breathing exercises and I'll bring over the mic. So you breathe it through your nose. Hold it for a count of 6. Breathe out through your mouth. Breathe in your nose again and tighten every part of your body. Tight, tight, tight. Hold it tight, tight. Breathe out. There we go. Those moments typically be very powerful for you as you. And again, when you see doctors that do good, share with your friends. Okay? If you know the doctor is working hard and doing good things for you, go on Google, Yelp, WebMD, give them a review. Because people are selecting doctors not only just by word of mouth, but also by stars as well too. And Black doctors are under siege. I don't need to tell you that the things that are happening in other small businesses as well are also happening to Black doctors too. So make sure you support them the best that you can. Thank you very much for participating. Allow me to come here. Yep. Yes, I have some cards, apples up there. You're welcome.
Thank you, Dr. King. I like the fact that for this particular panel, we're not just hearing lectures. We're done with lectures, right? I mean, after college, we were done with those. We need practical tools to impact our lives. And that's why I appreciate what you're saying. Thank you so much for that. Our next speaker is Brother Nicholas. Brother Nicholas is gonna come and he's gonna stress the importance of nutrition, how nutrition and physical fitness aids in mental wellness. Let's give Brother.
Well, it's such a pleasure to be out here sharing time with this beautiful organization. Just to drop some knowledge, I'm Nicholas Davidson, born and raised in Washington, D.C. And a couple things resonate to me. My son went to the same school that this young man went to, Columbia College. And so that's a tie-in right there. I have two doctors that look just like this gentleman right here. Because I tell you, for me to really feel comfortable, I need people to kind of walk the walk that I walk. You know what I mean? So no disrespect to other people of color, but my primary care doctors, Dr. Frank Flores, who recently retired from Kaiser Permanente, and Dr. Gregory Lamar Phillips, who's a phenomenal guy. So it's bigger than just them taking my numbers and learning about the illnesses or shortnesses that I might have, but it's more of a personal relationship, a friendship that I'm building with these guys. I'm gonna tell you, when I first came out here, where I'm at now is not how I used to be. When I was growing up, Dr. Anthony Carlton Davidson, who was my father, Margaret Tucker Davidson, who was my mother, were fantastic parents. Now, all of us have vices, right, in our life. Would you agree? And their vice were alcohol, right? So fill me on this. My dad could hide it really well. But my mom, it got sloppy. She was sloppy when she walked around. I'm just being real with you. I'm gonna share. So this conversation stays in this room, okay? So now, as I navigated that landscape, you know, I drank a little bit, but my drug of choice was a little bit different. And I'm gonna share with you. You can look at me, you can judge me, I don't really care. Because I am who I am. Just like Gregory talked about, you are who you are. My drug of choice was angel dust. That's some wicked stuff, isn't it? Wicked. And I remember going through those, and I remember trying to find a treatment center for angel dust when I was dealing with this issue. And then I remember having a conversation with my dad, because my dad just recently, he retired back then. And I walk in there, he's drunk, I'm high. And I'm like, Dad, why are you doing that? But I'm a hypocrite. I'm saying why he's doing what he's doing, and I haven't even established anything yet. You know, he was a prison dad, 6 kids, had his own practice, a lieutenant colonel in the Army. Now, again, his outlet was alcohol, so I cannot judge him, right? So I started looking for treatment centers for me, but at the time, it was just heroin and methadone. That was it, and alcohol. But those weren't my vices. So I took, I left the city, and I promised myself that I would try my darndest not to associate. I'm gonna go through the wellnesses that has helped me, and then I'm gonna talk about real quick the importance of physical fitness on mental health and nutrition. So I took a ride west, 1980, and I fell in love early. I fell in love in the 9th grade. And my wife relocated, we went to college, she came out here, and she gave me the opportunity to come out, right? And this is a true story. I said, this is the last joint of angel dust that I'm going to smoke. And I was leaving DC at 8 o'clock in the morning. I smoked the joint, and at 5 o'clock p.m., I was still driving around DC. I mean, that's the real stuff. You can look at me, but yeah, it is what it is. I am who I am. And so when I got to that first stop, which was Tennessee, I was itching to kind of like, I could use more joint. But then I looked at the six-pack of Erlangers, and I told myself, you know, my family history is alcohol. I better kind of not do that. So I said, after this last beer, we're done. So I came out here, my beautiful girlfriend at the time, who was my wife now, blessed me with 2 beautiful kids. She saw me, and I was just like, ugh. I don't know how she dealt or stayed with me. Been very blessed. But moving forward, what I noticed through that all those travesties was what really kept me going was movement. 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 And so I just, even now, when I talk, I'm just like, oh, I gotta stand up, otherwise I'm all over the place. And so movement has helped me. And so when I think about my trials and tribulations, I always want to give back. And that's why I applaud these gentlemen up here. That's why I applaud the Black women for wellness, for what they do in the community. They don't get enough credit, so let's give them a round of applause. So when my head started clearing up, I thought about the mental illnesses in my family. I had a cousin, Daryl, was schizophrenic. My middle sister, I have 3 sisters, Paula, Diane, and Teresa. Diane's son committed suicide in college. Suicide, hung himself. My mother, my beautiful mother-in-law is dealing with issues with depression. That's the mental part of it. And then physically, all of us in here could probably say we have family members with diabetes, alcoholism, mental illness, cancer, high blood pressure, sleep apnea, whatever. We have all of that. And so moving forward, I know my history. Okay? And so when you think about hopping on a plane, and I've learned this metaphor from my wife, one of the things they talk about is before you can help anybody else, you gotta help yourself. So they talk about on a plane, you put your oxygen mask on first, right? Before you can help anybody. And that's the way I walk, and that's the way I talk. I like to epitomize what I like to see. I'm a gregarious, energized guy, that's what I like to see. Okay, and so with that, the mental wellness has 8 dimensions for me, and this is how I roll. Okay, one is physical wellness. Okay, physical wellness, you have to have a team, whether it's a chiropractor, a primary doctor, a therapist. You have to have a team to assist you to navigate this landscape. So if you don't have a team, please get you a team of committed people to help you with your wellness. Your physical wellness, emotional wellness, okay? You talk, another, therapist really is good for that. The Black community was not known to have a therapist to assist them with these bumpy rides that we have in life. And a therapist is a phenomenal thing. Situations like this today are phenomenal. Like the doctor said, like Daniel said, like the team up here said, we'd love to see more men, but we see them. Okay, so each one teach one. Each one reach out and teach and bring more the next time we have a Bring a Brother to Breakfast. So emotional wellness, think healthy thoughts. Sometimes you might want to turn that TV off because it bombards you with toxic, bad news. Take a step away from it. Take a walk. Smell the flowers, smell the roses, just like a Zoe did the libation. That's a healthy way to start off your day every day. Social awareness. Have a team committed to being good. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Adrian, you look good today. Sly, you look good that you guys make a beautiful couple. So your social awareness, have a group of people that just make you feel good. Because we already have enough people out here that hate us just because we did. Intellectual wellness. Oh, I love what the doctor said. And I can't wait to hear what Gravy says in regards to finances. Always have that brain thinking, growing, teaching, learning. Intellectual wellness. Spiritual wellness. Oh my goodness, where would we be without spiritual wellness? Okay, I'm hoping the preacher man back there will give us a nice preach out or something, but I'm telling you, spiritual wellness is important towards our mental wellness. Environmental wellness. Okay, go out there, Akil talked about all the toxic looking oil factories out there. Go to the beach, go to the ocean, see something nice for the environment. Occupation, I learned this from Jerry West, I quote him. Find something you love to do and you never work another day in your life. Seems like Dr. loves doing what he does, am I right? And that helps with your mental wellness. And then lastly, going into mental wellness. Okay, this is where I'm gonna talk about movement, okay? Nutritional aid and mental wellness and physical fitness. So with nutrition, be conscious of your history. The doctor talked about, it's a rarity for you to want to wake up and eat a salad, right? Really. And so I know the importance of water. I do. This is me. And so I like water, but I love water with the twinge of lemon. And I can't get the sweet tea. Look, I'm from the South, right? And sweet tea is, I love tea with my sugar. It ain't really tea, it's just sugar with tea. You feel me? And so be conscious if you don't have the discipline to really kind of navigate that landscape of just saying, okay, I'm just gonna take a little bit. You can't have it in the house. And I'm just speaking about me, and that works for me. Okay, so I just do water. I do a lot of water, maybe a little bit of coffee, but a lot of water. All right, then also with that, you wanna think about what you're eating. And learn your history. In my history, in my family trade, diabetes, alcoholism, oh my goodness, cancer. My mom smoked Philip Morris. For all you old school, Philip Morris are non-filtered. You can smoke a cigarette from here to here with no filter, and it killed her. She died of cancer of the esophagus. So I know cigarettes because it's a vice. It's in my DNA. I'll probably, if I pick one up, I might love it, right? So there's no middle ground. I can't do that. My drug days are over. My alcohol days are over. And with all due respect, I'm kind of glad I experienced that at a younger age. Because I'm gonna drop some knowledge on you. You're gonna have loved ones. You might have offspring. And those offspring might have missed. See, my family, my siblings didn't miss it because my mom and dad were dealing with alcohol. But my sons missed it. So guess what? I'm dealing with one son that's dealing with that issue of alcohol. So just with nutrition, be conscious of what you eat. Learn as much as you can, which goes right back to intellectual wellness. Learn what you're eating. When the doctor tells you about your numbers, know your numbers. I run into so many gentlemen that know more about the Lakers, so many gentlemen that know more about the Knicks than they know their A1C number or their blood pressure. So be mindful of that. And that goes with your nutrition of what you're eating. Now, don't get me started. So physical fitness, that's what I do. I love physical fitness, but mind you, you don't need to get a fancy gym membership. You don't need any of that. I went to Adrian and Sylvester. She had I forgot what it was. I'm not gonna put her age out there, but one of those, something with a zero celebrations, right? And I'm watching them and they dancing all night long. You know what I mean? So you can go dance, you can go walk, which walking is underappreciated and underrepresented. Walking is one of the best things that you can do. Okay, as an athletic director, when I have my meetings, we walk and talk. I just recently bought a desk, that one of those where you have to stand up. I'm just motion, that makes me happy, and what makes me happy makes me happy. Okay, so physical fitness is very important. You don't need a gym membership, but walking, movement is key. So as a master trainer and a life coach for the CDC and Change Your Lifestyle, Change Your Life, which is to lower the numbers of becoming pre-diabetic to diabetic, two things are known: losing 5 to 7% of your body weight and averaging 150 minutes of physical activity weekly. So just think about this. If you can learn anything, if you're dusting, mopping, cleaning, that counts as movement. Anything counts as movement. When you park, maybe park down the hill and walk up the hill. That's movement. Okay? But you should be averaging 30 minutes of physical activity on the regular. And like Zoe said earlier, we hunters. We from Africa, hunters and gatherers. We move a lot. Back in the day, my dad would say, hey, he'd call me from downstairs. Rick, can you come up here for a minute? I'm like, hey, Dad, what's up? Can you turn the TV to channel 4, please? I want to see the news. But now we can just sit back and watch the news and just have 140 stations in our hand, remote. So just be mindful, little things like that. And then lastly, I'm gonna say this. In this brochure, make it a habit to, if you don't donate or join Black Women for Wellness, they do a lot of fantastic things. And don't get it twisted. It ain't all about the women. Under this umbrella, they treat the men like kings. They treat everybody real fine, so please partner with them if you haven't, you don't know anything about it. And on this last page, wellness tips. Drink lots of water, please do that. And if you're like me, if you don't like water, I love water, but I love water with a little something, no sweetener, but just lemon, that works for me. It can be mint, be something in your water to help. Get a good amount of sleep, like Dr. said, sleep is very you get a lot of sleep, it really helps with a lot of things. It's some nice thing, and I believe in a power nap every now and then, but not nodding all at your station like you're a drug addict or anything like that, but maybe going out to the park and a nice nap. Eat more vegetables and fruit, find things that you really like, be conscious of that fruit can be just as sweet as other things. So be conscious of that, and don't do what a lot of people do. I love salad with my dressing. Okay, you see salad, but it's like soup. It looks like some gumbo or something. Exercise, desk stand up, walking, talking, just on your phone, just move around. Movement is key. And then lastly, participate in meditation, yoga practices. Make that a habit on the regular. On Sundays, I shut my cell phone off because otherwise I'm like a cell phone addict. I'm always on it. And the way they divide cell phones now, they're very addictive. So I just shut it down and just go out to the park and just do me. Listen to the birds, smell the air. Well, maybe not Southern California, but maybe up in the mountains. But anyway, it's such a pleasure to share with you. And please make this not the last habit. Women, I appreciate you guys bringing your men out. Men, if you have a friend, make sure he comes to the next Bring a Brother to Breakfast. Now I'd like to turn this back over to Dan.
Walking. Movement is key. I love that takeaway. That's really, speaking to me, right? I appreciate that. I love the way he's building on what the doctor said. It's all coming together, and I appreciate that. Our next speaker will be Coach Sneedy. He'll bring home how financial wellness, how we can aspire to it and achieve it. Coach Sneedy.
Thank you very much, David, and I appreciate what you had to share about your family, and I guess in the words of the safe to shot. So thank you for inviting me today. When I was asked to present today, I looked at the date, and I saw the date, and you'll find out the meeting in a minute. So I cleared my morning to be able to be here. But today, June 10th, is my mother's heavenly birthday. She would have been 101 today. And 2 years ago, in 2020, I rebranded. I had an idea to rebrand my company. And Lifesaver Financial Services was born on June 10th, 2020. So today is a 2-year anniversary. I didn't necessarily change my business so much, but just branded it, became incorporated, and came up with a logo, and so this is the anniversary. So that's on June 10th. So, I gotta be there. All right, so help, Mom, Frida, happy birthday. So a couple of things were mentioned that inspired me to add to my presentation on health, and I think one of the key things is sleep. And I've been blessed to be able to get a great amount of sleep, anywhere from a minimum of 6, ideally I like 7, ideally I like 8, but I often average 7. And I'm blessed to be able to lay down and go to sleep pretty much instantly. 15 minutes for me is insomnia. So, and I've been that way since teenage. I had trouble going to sleep as a kid, because things frightened me or whatever, but you know, boogeyman and all that. And David was asking me about the bio, and it was just interesting that I was reading that those who exalt themselves will be humbled, and those who humble themselves will be exalted. And my wife always tells me that I don't promote myself enough. You got all this background, you put all this stuff. So initially, I put together a bio that was, it's pretty kind of free. She says, no, you gotta tell more about it. All right, so we did that. We talked about nutrition, And so nutrition is very important. When I came here today, I thought I was gonna skip my oatmeal. And because I eat oatmeal every day. And my wife always asks me, how do you eat oatmeal every day? And you know what I told her? With a spoon. And so today when I came here and it had some oatmeal, I said, oh, great, I didn't skip my oatmeal day. But it's important. I don't use white sugar at all. I use raw honey. When the COVID came out, they had the foods that you should be eating, to help build your immune system. And they listed 15 of them. So my wife, we sat down, we went through, and we were regularly eating 12 of the 15. So there were a couple of things on there that I'm not a big garlic fan, and that was on there. Just take a little into it. But I'm proud to say that in a couple of months, I turned 65. And I'm not on any medications at all. My blood pressure is normal. My cholesterol had been high. They were going to give me medication for it. This was maybe about 15 years ago. And I was up in the 300s, okay? And I've been bringing it down steadily. Every time I go to the doctor, it's lower than the time before. So those foods help, getting sleep helped. And so I think that's very important. So, and I'm blessed. And I also told my wife that when it came to alcohol, that I wasn't going to drink anymore. But I wasn't going to drink any less. I found just the right amount. Usually Friday night is my drinking night. So I limit it to one night a week. So, later tonight I get a little jazz, have a little drink thing, and then the rest of the week I'm good. All right, so we're here to talk about money, all right? And money is very important. There was a joke about a guy who was about to get held up, and he said, give me your money or I'm gonna blow your brains out. And he was thinking about it. He says, why are you thinking? He said, well, you can get by in this world without brains, but you can't get by in this world without money. When I do seminars, I have this $1 million bill. And one of the exercises I do is I hand out this, it's fake, so don't come over here and try to mug me. That's not clearly fake. You will get arrested if you pass this. But I ask people, I give them a sheet of paper and tell them, write down 10 things that if you had $1 million, somebody gave you $1 million, what would you do with it? And they write it down on a piece of paper, and I collect them. I collect them from adults. I've also done financial literacy with students, as young as 5th and 6th grade on up. And it's precious, some of the things, especially when it comes back to kids, that say that, I would, my mom works 2 jobs, so I would give her all of it because she want her to quit her job. And that's precious, it's touching. So money is important, and there is a connection between money and health. And how many of you feel good about your money? Raise your hands. How many feel great about your money? How many of you say, I'd like to feel better? And how many of you are not on speaking terms with money? So money is important, and I had the gift of being good with money from a young age. I tell this story. When we went to the store, I must have been about 6 or 7 years old, and I left my money home. I saw something I wanted, and I said, "Well, Mommy, can you buy that for me?" And she said, "Where's your money?" I left it home. This is, "Well, I can buy it for you." "Oh, yeah, great. But when we get home, you're gonna have to reimburse me from your allowance." She said, I stood there for a while, thought about it. She said, "Nah, it's okay." So that was the discretion. So I had discretion in terms of managing money. And fortunately, I've been blessed to be able to manage my money and other people's money pretty much all of my life. And I used to think that was a talent. And it was during that June of 2020, 2 years ago, where it came to me that was a gift. It was a gift that God gave to me so that I can share that gift with others, not to hold it for myself. So this is why I love teaching financial literacy and talking about it. So what can financial stress do to you? Well, it can give you sleep loss, anxiety, headaches, compromised immune systems, digestive issues, high blood pressure, muscle tension, heart arrhythmia, depression, and feeling overwhelmed. Financial stress can also lead to overeating, smoking, using alcohol, and recreational drugs. So poor finances can lead to stress and anxiety that can further or make the problem tougher, right? And then so it's a cycle. That cycle is that people who have or a problem with debt are significantly more likely to experience mental health problems. In fact, 46% of people with problems with debt have mental health problems. People with mental health problems are also more likely to have problems with money and problems with debt. Mental health can also be competitive, keeping up with the Joneses. Nowadays, people try to keep up with posts on social media. You see friends and they posting pictures and they went to Hawaii or Europe and they're putting pictures up and now you got the pressure about it. Now we got to take a trip. We got to put the pictures. You can't wait till you get home and post the pictures. We here, we're there. So it is a cycle where you want to feel better about your money. My tagline, and it's interesting with Lifesaver Financial, what came to me is that when you feel better about your money, you feel better about your life. There are 4 categories, and I think I might have left them here, but I think I memorized these. You've got people with a lot of money, and they're very happy. Believe it or not, you've got a lot of people with a lot of money that are rich and are miserable. And they spend tons of money with things or psychiatrists or counselors. So then you've got people who have maybe little money or not so much money, they're not rich, but they're happy. And of course, in the worst case scenario, the lower is that you got no money and you're miserable, right? And so does the lack of money make you miserable or being miserable keep you from making money? And think about that part, because if you have a miserable personality, it's going to be more difficult for you to keep a job, or if you're in sales. How many of you have been to a shop or a store and they're open for business, but they're just rude, miserable? Do you want to go back? No, right? There's a restaurant, I mentioned the name, good food, but they're rude. And I was just like, wait a minute. You're going to be rude and I'm giving you my money, I'm patronizing you? So it's a cycle that you want to be able to have a good feeling about your money so that you're not in mental issues. So how do you feel better about your money, right? How does that work? Well, one is really to have a good understanding of where your money is going. Well, where does it come from? If you're working a job, you know where it's coming from, but where is it going? So the way to look at that is to writing it down. You can write it down in a book, or you can use software. There's so many different ways of managing your money that it helps you. Financial health can be influenced by a number of factors. Well, what surrounds you and your family? So if your family was good with money, then there's a chance that you may be good. If both of your parents or one parent, or maybe you weren't raised by parents and they weren't good with money, then they didn't get a chance to pass that along to you. You don't learn financial literacy in school. So if it weren't taught at home, then where do you pick that up? How do you get that? When I work with couples, generally couples will be a combination of, if they're both savers, a lot of times they don't need it because they're both saving and they're putting money away. But that's like my dream, situation where they're both looking to save, they're both looking to take care of business. The challenge is now you have often a spender and a saver. So who is the spender? Is the spender the income earner or the spouse? I'm gonna be generic where the husband is a traditional income earner. The husband is earning the money, but he's also the one spending it. A lot of times the wife is a saver. She's trying to encourage him, hey, we need to do this. Sometimes the income earner or the husband is the income, he's making the money, but the wife's out shopping all the time. Gotta buy a new pair of shoes. We need a new closet, we need a new room, just so I can put all my shoes and my hats, and, coach bags and stuff like that. The challenge is when you have a couple and they're both spenders. So there's no internal pressures of saving money, and those are the ones that are likely to run into debt. People often spend money. I mean, everybody here hates spending money? Everybody loves spending money, right? You hate spending money? Okay. Just the usual one. But you're tend to be in that category of the save, so that, and there are some people actually who they want to save everything, and you have to almost force them to, and those shoes really need to be replaced. I've had these shoes for 20 years. Please put some under the sole or something. So those are the things that can happen. All right. So how do you feel, think, and act? How do you feel about money? Right? How does money make you feel? Are you working solely for money, or are you working because you enjoy it? What happens here? What do you know about money? What type of reading? What type of information? There's tons of information, and if any of you are, in fact, I was looking at it yesterday. AARP has a number of financial programs. If you look to their website, if you look to their newsletters, there's a tremendous amount of information in there that is geared towards those who are, with the AARP is 50 plus, right? So, and that's something when they find you, you get that first one. How'd you find me? And so your satisfaction level with your money. Quite a few people. Oh, that's the end of my 15 minutes there. I had myself on time. Do I have a couple more minutes? Couple more minutes. Okay. So when you want to get information to feel better about your money, that will help. To sort of tie that together. Health and wellness are based on 8 pillars, okay? And one is being physical. And AD, you talked about that in terms of, working out, being active, exercise. My exercise level increased when we have a 80-pound golden doodle. And so I walk her, and then we wrestle for 30 minutes. Wrestle. And then I still pick her up. So she still thinks she's a lap dog. I pick her up. She's 80 pounds. Nutrition, we talked about that quite a bit. Emotional, having an emotional understanding. Social, being able to socialize with people. It used to be that you had to go out to spend money. Now you can sit home with that. Well, let me put that back. You didn't have to spend money because there used to be those TV shows or commercials, whatever like that. And my wife's aunt is like that right now. She is, she'll buy stuff and you can send it back, or we just, something's on the dining table. Where did this come from? Oh, auntie, she bought this. Oh, okay. So she's buying stuff online, but it used to be that you would have to get things from the store, right? And so now you can't do that. Spiritual, obviously, there are things within, if you go to church, the synagogue, temple, the mosque, there are things that religions teach you about how to manage your money. Tithing, all that. Intellectual, so just learning about stuff. And then of course, financial stuff. And then the last one is environmental. So we live in an environment, especially here in Hollywood, Los Angeles, where you got the show, you got the boss, you going out to an event, and you got to go shopping. Well, I've been seeing it, I can't. this dress again, right? I keep thinking how many times I've worn this, this suit. But nobody, I know it's a great suit, right? But women, it's different. Like, oh, I can't wear it. I gotta get a new dress. Well, how often do you want to do that? How many of you, I'm not gonna ask you to show your answer, right? But how many of you have something in your closet that you bought and you've never worn? See, I don't think I have anything in my closet. I get a little frugal. I don't think there's anything. If I get something that someone gave me, it's like, oh, I hear it now. It goes in the closet. So, and credit cards. See, some of us will remember layaway, right? And layaway didn't allow you to overspend because you put it down on it and until you finish paying for it, you didn't get the merchandise. Now credit cards allow you to overspend. Credit cards is stuff you bought that you couldn't afford, but you bought it anyway. All right. So all those things really revolve around it. So to summarize, when you feel better about your money, you feel better about your life. And know that if you have financial problems, it can very well lead to mental issues. So you want to be able to seek help on the financial side, but you also want to touch base with someone who can provide some help on the mental side. Thank you very much.
We want to thank Coach Sneed for giving us the tools to be better empowered in dealing with our money and addressing money issues. Thank you so much, Coach. Okay, so okay. So we should go into the Q&A now. Are you saying we won't do the? Oh, unfortunately, we won't be able to do the Q&A. Okay. Okay.
I'm selling business cards.
So we'll be doing the video presentation. I'm getting directions. Be patient with you people, please. So what we're going to do is have our speakers, the panelists, sum up, give final words, and they're going to step down from the panel, and from there we're going to watch the video. So I'm going to start with Brother Nicholas. Final words.
But can you hear me in the back?
Yeah.
Yeah, please reach, teach. My final words are health is wealth. Continue to partner with the Black Women for Wellness. And if you have any questions in regards to movement, talk to me. I can kind of direct you in certain here. We're good? All right.
Dr. King.
Take this information that you learned today and share it with someone. I think that's the most important thing that we can do, because there are other individuals, for whatever reason, cannot make it here today, but you've been informed and you've been deputized to go out to share that with others.
Thank you, Dr. King. Coach Steve.
I pretty much said what I didn't say. And at the time. Yeah.
Thank you. Let's give you a hand. I would be remiss if in the midst of a gathering of Black men, I didn't encourage Black men to be tested for prostate cancer. These are some of the facts pertaining to prostate cancer in Black men. We're prone to more aggressive forms of prostate cancer. Our treatment and care falls profoundly short, and Dr. King alluded to that, with 1% of Black doctors in America, how can it not fall short? We are diagnosed at younger ages, and we die more often. That's something to be considered, I think. I'll be, next week, I'll be 57. In October of 2019, I was diagnosed with prostate cancer. And I can attest to the fact that going through the process, it's not as daunting and scary as people think it is. You can survive, and there's hope, and there's survival. And so I would encourage every man present here, that would be my giveaway, if I may, get tested. Don't be afraid of the process. And again, there's hope, even if you're diagnosed. So we're gonna give our panelists one more round of applause, please.
I don't want to support the program. I just want to come away with the issue. Ask your doctor for the PSA. We're just finding out now for the past couple of years, they were not doing PSAs. And now we're seeing again that we need PSAs because prostate cancer numbers have gone up. They've lowered the number now for colon cancer screening. We've heard Chadwick, 45, so it's now 45 getting colonoscopy as well. So a lot of these things are preventable. Screening can happen much further. Push forward.
Dr. King, what does the PSA do? What's that for?
PSA for prostate specific antigen. It is a protein that's given off by the prostate. If there's something that's going on in the prostate, be it enlarged, be it inflamed, be it infected, like tonsillitis, or prostate cancer. The highest number it should be is 4.5.
My number was 85. Sometimes you don't have symptoms, and you think everything is okay. Other times you'll be unable to urinate. And I don't want to get technical, but again, get your PSA. Demand that from your doctor. Thank you all. Let's give our panelists another round of applause.
Hey.
Right now, we will prepare for the video presentation, and I will share that with you right here. Thank you for joining us on Facebook. We're not done yet. We have a photo tribute to our men. right. Thank you for joining us today at our special Bring a Brother to Breakfast, our special Sisters at 8, which is Bring a Brother to Breakfast. We'll see you all next time for our next event. Stay tuned. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah, so you
that's how
guys,
we figured out that we gave this vegan family.
and the way you talk just like him.
Yeah, he's a good brother. I was really